So I understand that you accepted Islam after you did a lot of study. But what was the study? What did you find out about Islam that made you accept Islam, Sister Hafsa? What led you to Islam? What is the main reason that made you think, okay, I now have to say the Shahada because I'm sure, 100% sure, Islam must be the truth? That's what we are interested in to know. Hafsa, and by the way, as you noticed, Hafsa, we are trying to have a really respectful discussion. So if you want to open up your mic, you can simply ask. You can ask me questions. I can ask you questions. So don't think that we are trying to mock you, or because a lot of people are mocking. But that's not what you're trying to do here. We're just trying to have a nice discussion, right? You are our guest, or you are our respectful guest, and you seem very respectful. So we are respecting you back, sister. Okay, so you're our respectful guest. Hi, born again. Welcome. God bless.
Hello, Brother Rob. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm trying to have a nice discussion with Hafsa. I hope she doesn't think that we are trying to mock her, because she's a guest and she seems like a very friendly Muslim, and we are treating her with respect, right? So I hope she doesn't get offended, because we are really here to have nice, respectful discussions, and that's it. That's about it.
Yes.
So now she's answering my question. Every question I had and still get today, all are answered in the Quran and Islam. I have found not a single thing I can find fault in it when looked at in actual context. Okay. Hafsa. Okay. Let me ask you a question, Hafsa. What do you think about the embryology development in the Quran? Have you studied that? Have you studied that it is very wrong in the Quran? The way it's described, the embryology development, the embryo development is really a huge mistake, because it talks about semen that becomes blood clot. That means it becomes a congealed blood. We all know what congealed blood means. It means dead blood, and that dead blood becomes a fetus. But wait, Allah didn't mention the egg, and semen doesn't mean sperm, right? So Allah forgot to mention the egg of the woman, because you need to understand, we all know that to get a embryo, you need a seed of a man that will enter the egg of the woman. But Allah didn't mention the egg, and semen doesn't automatically mean seed of the man, right? Because it's talking about gushing fluid. Where's the egg? What happened to the egg? Right? So you didn't do a full study, but you said you didn't find anything that is wrong in the Quran. I just proved to you that it says it's talking about gushing fluid that becomes congealed blood, and that from the congealed blood it develops into an embryo. But here comes the problem. Where's the egg? Why didn't Allah mention the egg? Yeah, exactly. That's not proof. The Quran doesn't prove that it's right. It's proves to us that it's wrong.
Yes.
Where's the egg? And since when, Hafsa, what does congealed blood means? Congealed blood means. What does that mean? Yeah, alaqa. What does congealed blood means? That's alaqa, right? What does it mean? It means dead blood. Are you telling me that you get from dead blood you get an embryo? What happened to the egg? What happens with the seed going one small seed going inside the egg, and from that egg it multiplies the cells. One cell becomes two become four become eight, and all it continues, right? Allah did not mention that. The egg, I think, to be honest with you, I'm not trying to be funny, but I think someone forgot about the egg of the woman in the Quran. Clearly, because the writer of the Quran, when he wrote that ayah, he didn't know that there was an egg for the woman. And congealed dead blood? Are you telling me that we are created from dead blood? That's a historical problem. It's a scientific historical problem. Especially when it comes to science. It's a big, huge scientific mistake. So, but if we conclude, if Allah can make a mistake in the Quran, or the writer of the Quran made a mistake, that means Islam is wrong. There is no Allah, and if Allah claims to be God, He should not have been wrong. That means Allah is not God, because you can't make a mistake and you call yourself God, because God should not make mistakes. So we can conclude, Hafsa, that you joined. I don't want to attack you. That's not my intention. But I'm trying to tell you, you joined a religion that you have no clue about. Yo, Chris Claus joined in. Nice. You want me to go to Quran 4:11? Let's see. Guys, she wants me to go to Quran. I hope we are not changing topics, but let's see what chapter 4 says. Chapter 4:11 says. Okay. Allah instructs you concerning your children, for the male what is equal to share of two females. But if there are only daughters, 2 or more, for them is 2/3 of one's estate. Okay, what's your question about this? And first, half of what your wives leave if they have no child. Do the math. I get 112.5%. What's your I don't understand what your idea behind it is. What has this to do with the topic of the embryo development? We just proved to you, Hafsa, that Allah is wrong in the Quran. So Allah cannot be God. Right? Oh, this is not Hafsa, by the way, who's talking. Oh, sorry. Guys, I was mistaken. It's the ghost of the server. Sorry. I didn't know. I really thought that was Hafsa. Anyways, so Hafsa, did you catch? Hafsa, sorry for addressing you. It was the ghost. Ding. Yeah. Hafsa, so we can conclude when it comes about talking the embryo development in the Quran, Allah is wrong. So when Allah is wrong, that means Allah cannot be God. So that means you joined a religion which is not from God. Sorry to say to you, but Islam is wrong. Right? I have a question, Hafsa. I have really a simple question. Who created the mules? Hafsa. Who created the mules? Did God created the mules, or did mankind created mules? You know what a mule is, right? When you mix a donkey, male donkey, with a female horse, you get a mule, right? That's a mule. Right? So mankind created mules. Guys, just a second with texting. Hi, Air Church. Welcome, God bless. Mankind created mules by mixing donkey plus horse, female horse, right? So here comes the problem. Hafsa. Please pay attention, sister. According to the Quran, Allah says, I created donkey and mule and horse. This is a contradiction, sister. How can Allah claim that He created a mule, while we just said earlier mankind created a mule by mixing horse with a donkey, right? So here again Allah is mistaken. This cannot be God. Allah cannot be God, because else He would not make such a false statement. And on top of that, if Allah claims to create the mule, that means we would not have any mules today in 2019, because mules cannot reproduce. Did you catch it? So either way, Allah is wrong. If He claims that He created the mules, that means if it happened like, let's say 5,000 or 6,000 years ago, that means we should not have mules today here. Why? Because why would Allah make a mule and it will die immediately and it will get extinct immediately after? Because mules cannot have children. Mules, yes, Hafsa, mules cannot produce children. Their DNA won't allow it. Their nature, their physical DNA and whatnot, it doesn't allow them to create children. So if you let a mule have sex with another mule, that means 0 offsprings. So either way, I'm typing a lot of mistakes. Anyway, either way, the Quran and Allah are wrong. We prove to you for the second time, Hafsa, that Allah cannot be God. The Quran is a false book. That's the conclusion. I hope she's listening. Allah is false idol and Quran is man-made book. And the writer of the Quran is nothing but a liar and a deceiver. My lack of understanding. Really, Hafsa, come on. I just explained to you. Let me show you the ayah. You know, and I made a video about this, guys, a very detailed video about this very topic, about the mules and the donkeys and the horses, because it's really nice topic, guys, really. It's wonderful topic in the Quran. Wonderful topic. Allah claiming to create the mules. Maybe you can teach us, Hafsa, where Allah, how Allah meant it to say. How did Allah, what did Allah mean by when He created the mule? I want to know, you know. Maybe you know better than me. Guys, this is the video that I created like in January 20th. I created this video. Look how beautiful birds I put in the background. Man, I'm an artist, man. Nah, just joking.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was a good Photoshop.
Mohammed Dajjal.
Yeah.
Oops.
So yeah,
Mohammed is
we can conclude that Muhammad was wrong. Muhammad simply created Islam and he had no clue about scientific stuff. Because how can you make a claim? How can you make a claim that Allah created the mules? Right? And on top of that, guys, Allah made another mistake. The Quran, guys, says in Surah An-Najm, which is the stars, Allah says that He created everything in pairs. Chapter 53, guys, let me show it to you. Chapter 53. The topic of today, guys, is scientific errors in the Quran. Okay? Chapter 53, ayah 45. Maybe Chris Claus, if you, maybe someone can ask him to join in. He's really well versed too. Chapter 53. Why doesn't the dot comma not work? Anyways.
I think Chris Claus said he'll be coming shortly and join us.
Okay. So look what the Quran says. And that He, Allah, He creates the two mates, the two pairs, the male and the female. Hafsa, you know that this ayah is wrong, right? Because we have many animals. And I talked about it in that video that I just posted in the room. Many animals, they are not in pairs. So basically you have a shark, one example. Shark can have both male and female sex organs. I think Allah forgot to mention.
That's like like something
One,
that's
yeah.
only happened with sharks.
Yeah, this is
Kind of
it's not only sharks, many animals. This is one animal that have both sexual organs. But here Allah clearly is claiming that He created male and female. This is a huge mistake. A huge mistake. There are many different animals. Let me mention a couple of them. You have lizards. So you have lizards, reptiles. You have sharks. You have, I think, also snails. You know what a snail is, right? But shark is a really nice example. And you have also, guys, you have also animals. You have animals who are copying their mother. So they are only female. Because I think Allah mentioned to forget that too. So they are only female, but they can copy. They can copy themselves, basically. They can copy the mother. I think Hafsa lost focus. She doesn't listen to us anymore. Right, Hafsa? You lost focus, right? You're not interested in showing you the many scientific evidences, the wrong scientific claims inside the Quran. You're not interested at all, right? We are showing you proof that the Quran is very, very wrong when it comes to the so-called scientific miracles in the Quran. Why is that? Why are you not interested in hearing us out? How Muslim of you? Really, if you can bring us your Imam, the one who is teaching you about Islam, maybe we can talk about him, talk about this with him, and you can listen, because clearly you said in the beginning you don't have much knowledge about the Quran because you're a Muslim for 1 year. Guys, for people who do not know, according to Hafsa, she became a Muslim 1 year ago. And this is the ayah that we mentioned earlier about the mules. And He, Allah, created the horses, mules and donkeys for you to ride. You catch it? So here Allah is claiming that He created mules. But we just mentioned earlier, Allah did not create the mules. the humans created the mules by mixing a male donkey, and Hafsa agreed with me, with a female horse. She knew that Allah is wrong about this. I'm not debating you, Hafsa. I'm not debating you. I'm trying to show you that the Quran is very wrong when it comes to scientific things. That, you know, for example, guys, I'm Muhammad. For example, Hafsa, please focus. I'm claiming to be Muhammad. I'm claiming to be prophet, the last prophet of God. But I give you an ayah, I give you another ayah, which are all false. And we are proving it to you. That means I'm a liar. So Muhammad cannot be a prophet. He's a fake prophet. He's a liar and a deceiver. So again, Hafsa, we proved it today many times over. You joined the wrong cult. It's not even called a religion. It's a cult. And Muhammad is a false prophet. And the Quran is his false book. He created and fabricated the Quran. Yeah, I'm laughing too. Everyone is laughing about these false scientific errors in the Quran. We are laughing with you. We are laughing with you.
The Quran was made by
Dajjal, yeah.
No, there's actually a hadith that says before the Antichrist comes, there will be like 50 Dajjals that will pretend to be prophets. And I think, I think Muhammad was one of.
It's funny that she's laughing, but she didn't refute anything I said. And I hope, guys, you enjoyed this teaching. Thank you for listening, Hafsa. Please take notes, Hafsa, if you care about the truth. Please, Hafsa, don't laugh. If you care about the truth, make the notes that I told you. Make notes and try to refute them themselves. Go to the Quran. I gave you the ayahs. Go to the Quran and show me and show yourself. Do your homework. Show yourself that Rob Christian is wrong. I challenge you and I challenge your Imam to explain these ayahs to you. Thank you for listening.